What's in there?
Coke Zero.
Oh,
It's hard to come by these days.
I thought you were having a Coke and Jameson. Is that
Well,
a thing?
It's Jameson.
No, Coke and Jameson
Well, I'm in
together.
a Jameson koozie. I'm not trying to support them, but hey, if they want to sponsor the podcast,
No, I'm Irish. That's a good thing. I mean, I don't drink a lot of whiskey, but
I like some Jameson. Have you ever had a Jameson shot with a pickle juice? It's called a pickleback.
I can only remember drinking Jameson once, and it was when they almost buried Uncle Jim in the wrong hole. And what? So we had to go to the restaurant, the German restaurant, across from the cemetery, and it was cold. It was so cold. So I thought my mom was with me, and I thought I'll just have a Jameson.
So good.
And because it was, we still had to wait and then go watch Uncle Jim get buried in the right grave.
Okay, but they almost buried your uncle in the wrong hole.
Well, it was really my mom's uncle.
Are we still playing music? Did we play music?
I don't even think I started it.
Okay, we'll forget
it says none. So I'm sorry. The show I started is the Krisha and Frank show. We are a podcast, and we somehow are able to come up with enough material to be on 5 days a week.
Yeah.
How do we do it?
Because your uncle was in the wrong hole.
He was. So Uncle Jim and Aunt Mary were a lovely couple, and Manhattan socialites, I guess, or whatever. I mean, actually, Uncle Jim was a steam fitter, I think, whatever that means.
Okay.
And Aunt Mary would volunteer at St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Okay.
And Uncle Jim died, and he was my grandpa's.
I hope.
He was my grandpa's brother.
Okay.
So this must have been. It must have been in the year between my dad's death and my grandpa's death, I think, because that would be the only thing that makes sense of the way I remember it. But anyway, so Uncle Jim's dead. We've had the funeral, and we drive now up to Gate of Heaven, which is this huge Catholic cemetery in New York. If you live in Manhattan, it's upstate New York, but it's really like in Mount Kisco. Actually, they changed the name to Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Because there's so many cemeteries in this town.
That's amazing.
That they named it Valhalla. Because there's a Jewish cemetery, a non-denominational cemetery, and then the big Catholic Gate of Heaven, where Babe Ruth is buried.
Oh, hey!
My dad would point it out every time. He said, "There's old Babe Ruth," and the angels are holding baseball bats on Babe Ruth's grave.
I've only been to one cemetery in New York, and it was in Harlem, I believe, where Ed Koch is buried.
Oh, I met him once.
Yeah. I didn't. I saw his grave.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was at a Joan Baez concert, which I didn't even want to go to. So
we are on the rails.
No, it was at Central Park. A friend of mine said, "You need to come with me to see Joan Baez." I'm like, okay. And we're standing there, and we were up front, and Ed Koch walks by. I'm like, "Hey, it's the mayor," and I shook his hand.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah, because Ed Koch was still alive. That's how you can tell.
You can shake the Okay, so Gate of Heaven.
So the hearse pulls up, and the limo, which Grandma and Grandpa are in, and maybe some other, immediate relatives are in. And I'm driving probably my little Ford Escort or whatever I'm in with Mom or somebody, or maybe driving Mom's car, and we're behind. And we're supposed to wait in the funeral procession while they carry the casket up the hill to the family plot.
Right.
And
as tradition states.
And then once he's settled on the metal thing with the strappy straps that are going to lower him down, then the family will proceed up. And it's cold anyway.
It's a casket wagon.
Yeah, it's cold. So they start going. The men start going up, and I'm sitting there, and the limo, the doors fly open from the limo. Grandma starts charging up the hill like it's Teddy Roosevelt, and
Ooh.
She's yelling. She's charging up the hill and she's yelling. And I'm like, what is happening? And I'm looking, and we all know where the family plot is. These guys are veering off to the left instead of to the right.
Uh-oh.
They're going to the wrong section.
Oh, wow. And this is like, it's cold. They've dug a hole.
Yes.
And that's a process.
Yes. And now keep in mind that it's a Catholic cemetery in New York. All right? You're going to have some repetition in last names.
Yes, you are.
So there's a
lot of repetition in last names.
So you pop around and you see a lot of Italian names and a lot of Irish names and Polish names, but whatever. But in this particular section, there were multiple Irish names with the same last name as Uncle Jim. Go to an Uncle Jim.
Yep.
Uncle Jim O'Donnell. They're going to bury him.
Yep.
And they've opened up another family plot with the same name.
Oh, no.
Right. So we are furious. So we yell and scream, and they don't put Uncle Jim. They steer him over.
Oh, dear.
So we have a
So they
graveside.
had to take him back to the hearse?
They took him up the hill,
Just...
and they parked him on the wheelie thing on an undug grave at the correct family plot because I think Father Conway was. I don't know how much time we had Father Conway available, but he was going to do his blessing or whoever. I think it was Father Conway. We did a blessing, and then Grandpa says, "I am going to wait, and I'm going to come back and see my brother buried in the correct grave."
Oh, wow.
So that's why I had Jameson.
So you were
We went across the street to the German restaurant and got some food, and I thought I was probably had only just turned 21.
Yeah.
It was pretty. Not that it mattered in those days. I didn't drink until 18. But I ordered a Jameson, and it was, and that's
I like Jameson.
And that's what got me started on it.
Well, I have a lot of koozies, and most of them came from bars that I got them for free. So I just like a good koozie on my soda pop.
Do you need more koozies for the house?
Sure.
Because, like, I gave you a coffee mug a couple of weeks ago. I probably have an abundance of koozies.
Promo koozies?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, sure.
Because my wife says I have too many coffee mugs and too many of these things, and I have to get rid of some, so that when I'm dead, she doesn't have to do it.
Right. Yeah. I don't have a lot of things. I've been throwing a lot of things out.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Because you moved.
I did. I accidentally threw out all of my drinking glasses. I have 14. I counted them yesterday.
What? How do you throw out drinking glasses?
I don't know, but I've been carrying my little plastic cups around because I've been donating a lot of stuff to Goodwill because I am purging my life.
Well, you're also buying a lot of stuff from AmVets.
I bought a table.
Okay.
One thing for $15, and I still need furniture.
All right.
But I now need drinking glasses because I've been donating a lot of stuff to Goodwill and to Carm because I have so much stuff.
Yeah.
And I must have inadvertently
donated
all of my drinking glasses.
That's different than throwing them out, because I would imagine you would be aware of all of the glasses being in the garbage. What kind were they? Like nice kinds?
No,
just
they
like...
were, some Walmart glasses.
Because we have a lot of like jelly jars that we, for whatever reason, drink out of, and it's kind of awkward because they got the but I can get rid of those, I guess.
Yeah, my guy's gonna hook me up with he wants to gift me some glasses.
You know what is? It does make you feel special. Like sometimes I go to either Sam's Club or I used to go to a restaurant supply store in L.A. on La Cienega, right by the 10. Well, no, it was right by the 10, but if not, whatever. It doesn't matter where it was. But I used to love going in there and just fantasizing about buying like restaurant glasses or restaurant sugar shakers and salt and that kind of stuff. I just like the idea of it. In fact, I almost bought a pack of 24 bar rags.
Bar rags are great.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
I almost bought them.
Oh, yeah, bar rags
I just thought, if I'm going to set up craft services for Miss Krisha over here, with the fruit and the nuts
you don't understand how good to me he is. I'm such a schlep.
Go get it. Go get the tray.
Okay.
You can show him.
All right.
I set up the craft services on a tray.
I've already nommed a bunch of the
That's fine.
And you told me where all of this came from.
Well, yeah. I mean some of it, this is from Kroger, but I think everything else is from Sam's.
And, these are the good protein bars.
Yeah. So you got the unsalted nuts.
Yeah. You got me apples and baples and bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's because you were hungry one time.
One time I was hungry. And we get craft services, and there's water and coffee, and now I've got a 6-pack of soda.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've got stuff, and you can have stuff. I need to get rid of things, and it's okay. Because I have too many things. I mean, I've kind of shifted into...
Go ahead.
Well, anything else with the glasses?
Nope, I just need glasses.
All right.
I'm just an idiot.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I mean, because when I went to acquire things, like, you know what I wanted for my birthday this year? I think I've told you. Is I wanted the earth boxes so I could grow tomatoes, which are delicious.
What you got?
I wanted the baby peach tree, which is over there, so eventually I can grow peaches.
Yes.
And all of this started 7 years ago when my dear friend, the librarian from my childhood, found me online through the Alumni Association and all the different things, and gifted me with a fig tree.
Yeah, you have a big fig. You got a big fig.
The big fig.
Big fig.
That's 7-year-old big fig.
It's big
But
fig.
you notice that there's other little figs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to tell you about my fig envy.
Okay.
Next door neighbor Nancy, not to be confused with librarian Nancy, has a fig tree, and they're a different kind of fig, and I tasted one.
Yeah, uh-oh.
All right, we'll get to
Well,
that.
you know that you could probably find something about figs on Audible.
Gardening books.
Gardening books? A gardening audiobook? How awesome would that be?
'Cause-
that you can piddle around the house and listen to someone talk about gardening and growing fig trees.
Because I was thinking, they also have, like publications. You can listen to Washington Post, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, News Digest through Audible.
Yeah.
When you get the Premier membership. And in fact, if you sign up for a 30-day trial, just sign up for the 30-day trial, get to keep one audio title just forever.
Forever and
you
ever.
get that one as a freebie, but you got to use our Krisha and Frank code. So it's audibletrial.com/Krisha and spelled out Frank.
Yeah, and the thing is, the app is free. You can download it on any smartphone or tablet. You can use it with your Amazon Alexa.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah, and it is fantastic. And not only
I gotta look up fig books.
You do. Not only can you stream whatever book that you want to listen to or podcast or publication.
Because I got the Apple CarPlay.
I know you do, but you can download it. So
Which is good.
when we take our field trips, or I have been using an Audium Premium membership for about a year, and I drive so much, and sometimes it's just nice to have my mind clear, and I love to read, and I don't have time to sit and read.
This will be good for Jerry also, because we have a history going back to before Audible existed of getting CDs for car trips. And she would either go buy a set and then have to sell it and get a new one, or even the library. But this is Audible. It's like the whole infinite universe of audiobooks is right there, and all you have to do is think of it or just scroll through.
Thousands of titles, and they've always got little blips of hey, you listen to this, you would like this, and so it recommends you. And so
You're the best commercial for Audible.
I love Audible so much.
Well, we want you to love it too. Go to audibletrial.com/Krisha and Frank and help support our podcast by getting a free audiobook and a free 30-day trial, which of course kicks into a paid trial on day 31 unless you cancel it.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to love it.
It's amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Back to the Krisha and Frank show.
I'm gonna eat a grape while you talk about.
See, I wish I had some figs to feed you.
I love figs.
I've got some dried figs from the grocery store.
You've got me on since I've known you. I have begun to love figs, and I have got a fig ginger, preserve.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
It was heaven.
Fig preserve, I love it. I love fig preserves. I try to buy different ones wherever I go. Dollywood has some of the best fig preserves you can get.
Really?
Fig jam, and it's in a bigger jar. It's actually less expensive, I think, per ounce at Dollywood than it is at the fancy. Well, certainly than the fancy grocery stores.
That's surprising.
I went to one of the fancy grocery stores to buy dried figs because I thought, maybe they're going to be better, right? I got sick from them because here's the problem: they were bulk.
Oh.
They were in the bulk drawer, and,
Yeah.
I had to get down on my hands and knees because they were on the lowest level.
Oh.
And I don't know what they, in dried figs, they look kind of like little turds, but unfortunately.
Little poops.
But so I scoop out a bag full, and I buy them, take them home, and they made me ill, but I was too cheap to throw them away.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I did?
What?
I cooked them,
Okay.
and then they were fine. I killed the germs.
Wow.
So, yeah, actually that's how you reconstitute dried figs. Is you basically boil them,
Right.
and they become soft again. So anyway, that worked.
That
But next door neighbor Nancy has mentioned, I have a fig tree, and it's you can't even see it. It's like I have a fig tree, and it's kind of in this dark, shady corner. And figs love light,
Right.
so she's got this kind of. No offense, Nancy, because I know you actually do watch the show, but it's kind of scrawny looking.
A scrawny fig.
Whereas my big fig, you can live in there.
Oh, I could honestly move into your fig tree and you wouldn't know.
Yeah,
Until I came in to use the potty.
Because it's the leaves are I never got this.
big.
You know how they talk about
And
in the
they're
Bible that
fuzzy.
Adam and Eve were fig leaves? And you're like, oh no, they're extremely uncomfortable.
I could make
It would be
an
like-
entire outfit of that.
It would be like wearing a burlap sack. They are rough and itchy and it's
Yeah.
extremely uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was what they meant. But so I love my brown turkey figs, but they're not that big.
Mm-hmm.
And this year the birds were getting to them. So I have to cat sit for Nancy.
Yeah.
And I did cat sit for Nancy, which is another story, I guess.
Okay.
But we're going over there. We're getting the tour.
Does she know you to ask you to cat sit?
No, not well
you
enough.
You freeze-dried a turtle.
The cat and I did pretty well.
Okay, but let's talk
I was
about
surprised.
the fig. I need
we'll
to
get
hear
to that.
about the cat.
I'm not a cat person, but I did very well with
okay.
the cat. But she said, see, this is this porch where the cat will sit, and I'm like, okay, this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing. Just make sure, there should be everything's fine. You really just check on him, make sure he's alive, basically is the requirement of the job.
That's the requirement of a cat.
But she's got the fig tree over there. I said, oh, look at your fig tree. Yeah. She said, they're not ripening up very well this year, like mine.
Mm-hmm.
But they're huge. They're like the size of golf balls or
like
bigger.
Lemons?
Almost.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if mine are the size of acorns and weight
Mm-hmm,
walnuts, these are 2 or 3 times bigger, and they're green.
Ooh.
And they don't turn as the same colors.
Right.
But the birds had gotten to one. I plucked one and ate it. I'm like, oh, I have fig envy.
Did you thief a fig?
Well, yeah. But I mean, she was out of town.
Okay, so if you're out of town and I just come over and take stuff out, of your yard?
Well, but the fig is going to rot on the tree otherwise, and the birds are going to eat it. So, just say a bird ate it.
Okay.
Or maybe a bird ate the fig.
Right.
But then I got bold.
Oh.
Because I thought, next door neighbor Nancy had said that she's expecting a delivery of a mock orange tree. Because we've kind of bonded over the whole gardening thing. She got a peach tree, I got a peach tree. She started cleaning out her weeds and woods, detritus and all that, and I started cleaning out mine. Mm-hmm. So she says, if the mock orange tree comes while I'm out of town, would you plant it for me?
Aw, that's
would
sweet.
You dig a hole? And I'm like, all right, I guess so. So that
dig it in the right place.
That gave me the idea. So she's gone. I texted her, said, hey, what do you feel about me maybe pruning your fig tree a little for you? Or so I can get a cutting?
Okay, but you asked.
I did ask. And you know what she said? She said, oh, you know what would be better? If you got one of the, go ahead and dig and get one that's got roots.
Yeah.
Because it's much more likely to survive.
You didn't steal anything, you asked.
I'd have fig envy. So I got one, but when I got down there, it was hard.
Yeah.
It kind of broke into 2 pieces, so technically...
You now have 2 fig trees?
Which I have to explain to Nancy. It looks like I stole 2, but really they were together.
Right.
But they broke apart at the rooty part.
Well, you're explaining it now.
All right. So
you stole your fig.
I put one on that side of the house, and I put one on that side of the house.
Oh, you hid one. You hid the evidence of the second one.
I shouldn't have mentioned the second one. That's true, because she only will see the one on her side.
Yeah. Oh, well. You've already given yourself away, son.
Well, you know what? It's going to take, literally it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years before these things grow to the point of fruit producing.
That's if it's one of your fig trees. One of hers might go pooh overnight. Yeah.
Oh, you think she's got better figs than I do?
She might. There's a reason that you took it.
Yep, I have total fig envy. Well, I want to have peaches. I want to have figs. We can make a salad or something.
Oh, man.
We can make a fruit salad.
Yummy, yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the cat, I'll mention briefly.
What's the cat's name?
Louie.
Louie the cat.
I also, while I was attacking the fig, discovered the cat graveyard. There's beautiful headstones
Aww.
for all the other dead cats.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
You talked about freeze drying your turtle
tortoise.
on a couple episodes back, and I mentioned my granny froze a cat. We had this cat named Fremont, named after the cat from Dennis the Menace.
Yes.
And he was walking across the street and just laid down and died.
Oh.
And my granny actually saw him do it, and he was very old. And she, of course, was older at the time, and she had, you asked me how many freezers I have, which is 1. My granny had 2 chest freezers, so she could at least, and she couldn't, of course, bury Fremont. My dad wasn't home, so she wrapped him in a towel and put him in her freezer.
She couldn't bury him psychologically or physically?
Physically.
Okay.
So
there's a difference. I could bury Mo physically, but not psychologically.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. So she just put Fremont in the freezer.
And then what happened?
My dad came home to this stiff, frozen cat, and we eventually buried Fremont.
Okay.
So you came across the kitty cat graveyard, but Louis still alive.
And my job is to play with Louis and engage Louis.
Yes.
There's like a fishing pole with a feather on the end of it.
Yeah.
You know this?
Oh yeah. I love cats.
You do?
I do.
Oh, well, maybe Nancy will let us come over and play with Louis.
I like Louis.
Yeah.
Louis.
So, but yeah, I'm supposed to take this thing and move it around.
And he's like, skitty.
Yeah, and he catches it. So he catches it.
Yeah.
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 So I sit on the screen porch, and I'm, watching YouTube. But then,
You're like a toddler.
but then, see, the first time I went over to meet Louis, I'm trying to pet him and let him know I'm the guy. This is me.
Right, cats don't care until you give them food.
Well, he wanted to bite on me and scratch a little bit. She said, "Oh, careful, Louis plays rough." So I'm like, okay. Well, by day 2 of cat sitting, I had Louis laying on his back, let me scratch his belly.
Right, because you became food guy. Cats, like, I will say cats are loyal, but really, no.
Not
Louis could care less if neighbor is there or if you are there. Whoever becomes food giver, hello food giver, I now love you.
Well, I think the water, he likes to have his water changed every day. Because he jumped up on the kitchen counter to watch me fill his bowl in the sink.
Louis. I want to meet Louis.
All right, well, we can go. I mean, well, yeah.
We'll just go over and knock on your neighbor's door and be like, hey, while you're out of town.
She watches the show.
Okay.
And,
Hi, I want to meet Louis.
Actually, you were here one of the days we were doing the show.
Oh,
She came over and started to say, and then left because she realized it was you.
Hi.
He's already got enough on his hands.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So that's today's show. Thanks a lot for listening on all of the different apps. Thanks a lot for signing up for the free trial. audibletrial.com/Krisha and Frank.
And if you've got a cat that needs sitting or a fig that needs pruning, Frank's your guy.
That would be a side business for us, you think?
All
right. So share this with your friends and tune in. Observe. Actually, we're on TuneIn.
We're on the TuneIn app. Tune in.
So whether you tune in or whether you Stitcher, you can
Spotify or Audible
or YouTube. Check us out and share it with your friends. It's the Krisha and Frank Show, and we'll be back with another program
tomorrow.
I better go before she chokes on the grape and I have to give her the Heimlich.
Bye.
Bye.